Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Welcome to Born to Achieve podcast, the show that inspires and motivates you to unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. With your host, Warren Andrew Pinder. Let's get started on this week's episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve.
What you just described in perfecto is the fact that, solving problems, if you walk into something that you see that there's a problem, you get paid to solve it.
That was my job, most of my job was to get stuff out of people's way back then. Now as a coach, that's still my job. It's just the stuff is different,
It sounds,
but it's the same job.
It sounds like a lot of people have been calling you,
Oh yeah, it's and that's honestly how I discovered coaching. Is I figured out what I was doing as a corporate leader was really when I was most successful is when I took a coaching mindset. When I came into the thing with that idea of, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I hired these people because they're smarter than me and they can do something better than me. Why in the world would I think I have to be the one that knows all the answers?
Yeah,
I don't. I need to be the one that facilitates the conversation, but I don't need to be the one that knows all the answers. And
exactly.
When you start, and again, that's another mindset shift because most leaders think I'm the person that has to solve all the problems and answer all the questions. It's like part of that's right. You are there to solve problems, but you're not necessarily there to be the one expert in the room that knows all the answers.
Right.
Hopefully you've hired a team of people and some of those people have skills that you don't have. That's kind of the point.
That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. Now let us try and inspire persons who are not in that space. Right, that want to be in that space. Those persons that aspire to manage, aspire to own their own business. Help them get, direct them on the path. Just put something in their mind to say, who from where I am right now, this is where you exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of the folks that I work with are people that want to be entrepreneurs. They're transitioning from a corporate job, just like I did. I left a corporate job. I went into an entrepreneurial space. And, and I will tell you, if you do it wrong, it's a nightmare because all you do is create a worse job that you get paid less. The number of people that create a job for themselves as an entrepreneur, they make less money. They have less time. It's like, yay, I'm free. It's like, no, you're not, so let's do it the right way. So first off is to figure out, what are you designed to do? What are the things that come naturally to you? And guess what, folks? You don't know. Okay. I almost can promise you don't know, because literally they're the things that other people go, man, Warren, you're really good at this. And you go, oh, no, man, anyone can do that. No, anyone can't do that. That's why everyone thinks you're good at it. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're blind to our own thing. So here's a couple of exercises you can use to start kind of painting that picture of where am I at and where do I want to go? So one of them is a backwards looking exercise. The other one's a forward looking exercise. So I'll walk you through them real quick. If you want to look backwards, what I suggest is take out a few sheets of paper, divide it into 3 columns. So you got a left-hand side, middle, right-hand side. You can do this on a computer. You can do this by hand. Doesn't matter. Spend some time with it. This is one of those things where you can take a couple of days with it. You can spend plenty of time with it. It isn't something to do quick. Down the left-hand side, just begin to brainstorm all of the stuff you've done in your life.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Man, written by Warren Andrew Pinder and Dominique Bradford. This book passionately focuses on the challenges women have been made to go through and how to overcome them. In some cultures, being a woman disadvantages the girl child. This book carefully exposes the hurdles you might face. This masterpiece is the ultimate self-help guide for women. It reveals your true purpose and identity. Get your copy today. Available from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
Notice I did not say all of the stuff you've been paid to do in your life. I just said stuff you've done. Okay. So it literally can be counselor summer camp. It can be a relationship, a particular date, a vacation you went on. I don't care. Be as broad as you can. Things that you've done, people you've interacted with, activities that you've participated in. So just brainstorm down the left-hand side. In the middle column, next to each of those, write something about that activity that you enjoyed, something that gave you joy, something that brought you energy, something that you loved, something that you connected to it. So first column, activity. Second column, something you loved. And in the last column, brainstorm something that you didn't enjoy, something that didn't give you energy, something that didn't connect with you from that activity. A lot of times you'll have more than one in each of those columns, and that's okay. This isn't about limiting. This is about expanding. Be verbose. Why? Okay. Again, kind of like the time audit. Go back later after you've been doing this for a while and start looking for patterns. What keeps showing up in the love column? Granted, you're going to find different words because you're going to use different things to describe them, but there will be things that keep showing up. There will be activities or energies or things that you do that keep showing up. They're the things that no matter, by the way, if you think that you're doing something, it's so horrible that there's nothing good. Yes, there is something good. Find it. Okay. I don't care what you're doing. There's always a plus. There's always a minus. Everything comes with pros and cons. It's just the way the world is. Nothing's perfect and nothing's perfectly bad, So it's just, you find the joy, find the things and start looking for patterns. So the reason for this activity is to look back into the past and start getting clues of things that feed your soul, things that give you energy, things that bring you joy. Because odds are good in there is number one, some of your giftings, and number two, problems that you're uniquely designed to solve. And guess what, folks? All a business is solving problems for people so that they can give you certificates of appreciation that we call payment.
Exactly.
But that's all it is. It's value for value. You got a problem? Exactly. I can help you with your problem. I'm willing to pay you. Okay.
We'll be ringing. Exactly.
You pay someone to mow your yard, to fix your car. Why? You got a problem. They have the skills to fix it. Give them money. You pay someone to be a coach. You pay someone to whatever it is. It's always a value exchange. Even as an employee, by the way, it's a value exchange. Really and truly, when you're an employee, work a W-2 job, you're self-employed with one client. The company you work for. That's it. That's your client. Okay. Right. Because guess what? If they go out of business, you lost your job.
Exactly.
So you're self-employed with one client. Okay. So either way, that mindset of this is my calling, this is my purpose is good. So that's looking backwards. Okay. Let's do the looking forward activity. This is the one that kind of gets to the meat of the question that you just asked. How do I know what direction to go in? So this is a mindset activity. You got to picture the future. Imagine for a minute that it's 5 years from today. It's 5 years in the future. And you find yourself on a trip and you've gone, on vacation or on a business trip. Doesn't matter. I said this in an airport because back when I worked corporate, I was always in an airport. Anyone who's worked corporate testify, you're usually in an airport. And so imagine you're flying back. And you know how sometimes when you fly back, you've got that connecting airport. So you fly from the destination, you land, then you connect to another plane, and then you fly the rest of the way home.
Right.
You land at that connecting airport, that place in between, fancy word for it is liminal. You've planned there and you're kind of walking down, getting to the next gate. And right as you get to the next gate, you look up and you see those dreaded words, flight delayed. Great. And you're literally in the middle of nowhere. You don't have your luggage. All you got is your carry-on. There's nothing to do. The plane is delayed 4 hours. So you do what anyone does when they're stuck in an airport for 4 hours. You either go find a bar or a restaurant because you're either going to get a drink or you're going to grab something to eat. Okay. Depending on your particular preferences. So I'm a teetotaler, so I'm going to a restaurant.
Exactly.
So I go find the restaurant. I walk in, and remember, this is 5 years in the future. As you're walking in from across the restaurant, you hear a voice. Hey, Warren, how you doing? I haven't seen you in so long. It's a friend of yours that you kind of lost contact with. You've talked to him a few times, but they moved away. You got busy. They got busy. You really haven't talked to him much for the last 5 years. And they look at you and they're like, dude, are you here? And you're like, well, I'm stuck in the airport. My flight's delayed for 4 hours. They're like, hey, my flight's delayed for 3. Let's go grab a booth and catch up. So you grab your booth, you grab a meal, you sit in a quiet corner of the restaurant. I know it's an airport. It's hard to find a quiet corner, but let's just pretend you find one. And that you look across the table and your friend looks at you and he goes, hey, Warren, how have the last 5 years been for you, man? And you go, you know what, brother? These have been the best 5 years of my life because that's the exercise. Your job is to tell me what comes after the word because. What does your relationships look like? What does your career look like? Not just your job. What does your career look like? But yeah, also, what are your relationships? What do your finances look like? What does your spiritual walk look like? What is all of the different, what does your fun times look like? What does your life look like that would truly make you tell this person, these last 5 years have been the best years of my life? Now, here's what's interesting. With those two exercises, you have a roadmap because you have what you need to start, not to end, but to start.
To start.
Kind of know a destination. That's that 5-year thing. It's not going to be fully detailed. It's not going to be fully realized. Guess what? You're going to be wrong about some of that stuff. Some of that stuff's not going to happen that way. That doesn't matter. And by looking backwards, you know something about your giftings, your callings, your direction. Guess what? That's not perfect either. You don't know all the answers there either, but you've got some inklings. And that's enough to go, what is one small step that I can take that begins to move me from where I'm at to where I want to be in 5 years? What is one tiny action? Maybe it's going back to school and picking up a certificate. Maybe it's starting your own business on the side and starting to get it to grow. Maybe it's changing relationships and the people you're hanging around with. Maybe it's changing what you're doing with your time or your money. But whatever it is, you can begin to take small actions to move you in that direction. Now, again, hold this with an open hand. Realize it's not going to shake out exactly the way you thought. Okay.
Exactly.
That's okay. Because through the journey, you begin to get feedback and you begin to adjust. Think of it as it's like GPS, right? You put in the destination. You're like, I'm going to drive from here to there. The route shows up. And then sometimes what happens? In the middle of the trip, the little GPS goes on recommending to change the route. Recalculating. Oh, there's traffic ahead. Go that way. Same thing's going to happen on your life journey. So you're going to recalculate and reroute and change things. That's okay. That doesn't mean the trip is bad. In fact, sometimes it makes the trip better.
Exactly. Yes.
Now for a commercial break.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
That's that journey that you described. Living an inspired life. I liken it to saying that, solving problems, you hear the phone ring that brings, that makes the cash register sing, so it's that what you're trying, you want to hear, right to ching, ching. That's what it's all about. So, but that should inspire, man. Scott, you have given some dynamic, that information that leaves us all with food for thought. What last words do you have? And give our listening audience, your handles. Let them know, because I'm sure some of them would like to hear more from you. But
Sure.
But leave us some and inspire us. Inspire our listening audience. Get your last words.
Absolutely. I think, and I said it at the beginning and I kind of want to repeat it at the end. I think the true gifting that we all need to have is how we can hold to these things with an open hand. We can look at life as the journey, not the destination. Money is an example. It's not about how much is in your bank account. You can be content with very little. You can be content with very much. The beauty of learning to hold things with an open hand is, if you hold things with an open hand, things flow in, things flow out. When you close your fist and you try to hold everything really tight, things can't get out. You can hold on to it, but also things can't flow into your life. And that's really what makes us live an inspired and fulfilled life. It's that currency of things flowing in and flowing out. It's becoming a reservoir. Why is the Dead Sea dead? Because stuff flows in and nothing flows out. Okay.
Exactly.
It's dead because of that. And our lives are the same way. When you do that, you start learning that you can invest in others. You can develop your influence. You can make an impact by doing those things. As far as getting in touch with me, I actually set up a landing page just for your listeners. It has all of the information about how to get in touch with me. That exercise that I gave earlier, all of those, there's a free resource link. You can get a copy of those. There's information about my book, Inspired Living. You can find all of that over at my website at inspiredstewardship.com and then just /achieve. So if you go to inspiredstewardship.com/achieve, you'll find all of that over there.
Wow. And that is what we're all about. Because I don't think in our heart there's a burning desire in each and every one of us to want to be, our best, to want to achieve the best, to want to live, a great life. Achieving greatness is important. Scott, it's been real. It's been great to have you here. It's just, I cannot say thank you enough, but, we will share this information throughout to, inspire others to be able to achieve their goals, dreams, and then do the same by sharing with others. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. We hope you found it informative, inspiring, and motivating. Born to Achieve. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Stay focused on your goals, and we'll see you on the next episode of Born to Achieve.
Take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Sign up today and claim your free ebook at www.borntoachievegreatness.com. Follow us on Facebook at Achieve Movement Inc. Get your copy of Exploring Achieveland, A Journey to Realize Your Dreams, Motivational Stories of Kindness, Inspiring Stories for Kids on Amazon and Kindle.